Hey, I'm Mike and today we are going to change how you feel playing Brawl. We cannot control what other players or WotC do, so we have to rely on ourselves to make the games more enjoyable. Number 1. Decide whether you are optimizing for fun or for win rate. Winning a game doesn't necessarily make it fun, and losing a close game can still be a good memorable experience. It's mostly when the games are one-sided when we stop having fun. Skip strategies that are going to make your opponents concede early. Stacks that doesn't win. Land destruction. Looking at you, casualties of war. And honestly just any unfair advantage. It can be Ragavan on turn 1, wash away. Yeah, legitimately strong cards, but ultimately, if you are 1 in 100 to draw them, and they just skew the game so much, why bother playing them? Obviously, feel free to play anything that is fun for you. Personally, I don't like these strategies, because if my opponents just concede immediately, what is the point? I haven't achieved anything with my time. Remember, we are optimizing for fun, not for winning. Basically shy away from any strategies that make your opponents not play the game. It can be Blood Moon, Harbinger of the Seas, Warring Clags, Voice of Hunger, and so on. Yeah, there are great win conditions, but ultimately, is that even fun? But winning is fun. Well, yeah, I mean, duh. Winning is an important part of the game, isn't it? Play to Win channel recently cracked this when they said,
I know our channel is like play to win, but the fun part is the playing to win part. It's not the winning part, that is important, but it's specifically playing to win. Playing with the intention of winning the game, to me, that's the fun part.
Yeah, you're trying to win, but ultimately it's the experience that gets you there. And this is true in CDH, where you are playing with like-minded people, perhaps even friends, but it does translate to other formats as well. If someone is showing me a new combo in Brawl, I'm happy to sit through it and learn from it. And on the other hand, if my opponents are missing land drops, I'm not having fun even though I can easily win. 3. Play less deterministic decks. If your Brawl decks play the same every time, you won't have fun playing it too often. The first Sliver combo, Crucius combo, and so on. I'm not trying to say you shouldn't play tutors and stuff. For example, in my Nashi deck I have 8 tutors, but every single time I search for something slightly different and it's situational, and the deck is very much fun to play. Number 4. Concede early, but maybe not when you feel behind. Remember how we agreed that playing to win is the most fun part of the game? Well, this heavily influences how we should concede. Did you have to mulligan to 5 to find your lands? That's still fine, the game will be slightly more challenging, but it's definitely still winnable. Don't give up just yet. I see people restart the game after their second mulligan all too often. Yes, you can technically do that, but if you just goldfish for the best 7, what even is the point? If your opponent is roping you, just concede. Yes, even if you are winning. Don't get hung up on not giving your opponent the win. Brawl is not ranked and nobody will care or remember how the game ended. You are wasting your time and likely getting frustrated looking at a board that's moving at snail's pace. Looking at my recent games, I spent 21% more time in games that resulted in a defeat compared to games that I won. And this is across all decks and archetypes. Maybe all my builds are susceptible to fast aggro strategies, but I would argue my opponents are conceding more than I do. We want close games, and that means sticking with a game even if we feel slightly behind. Now remember, losing a game can still be a good experience. Number 5. What do you like about Magic? Find what play patterns make your brain tingle in the right way. Some players like complex strategies with a lot of interaction and large stacks, while other players may prefer perhaps more straightforward but more resilient decks. For example, my favorite deck in Brawl is Nashi. It can get to power 9 cards from Oracle of the Alpha and even banned cards from Key to the Archive. And on top of that, Nashi gives the cards flash. There is nothing better than looping Time Walk at instant speed. But for you, my friend, this may be different, so think about it when you are building your next deck. But my opponents don't let me do my stuff. Yeah, well, of course not, they are also trying to win and have fun. They cannot just let you do what you want. An obvious point here is, yes, you have to play some interaction, and perhaps removal for board pieces that will hinder your game plan. Is your deck relying on Cascade or Discover? Well, be prepared to remove Boromir, Vexing Renegade. But there is a deeper point I want to make here. You gotta change your mindset and internalize that opponents will attempt to disrupt your game. Don't get tilted if you envisioned a magical Christmas land off a board 3 turns into the future and an opponent removed a key piece. Maybe Instead of feeling frustrated that your opponents always find a response to your plays, try to plan around what they could have. That doesn't mean that you never play anything out of fear either, but do so in a way that doesn't put you at a disadvantage. If your opponent doesn't have anything, you got away with it. And if they do, you can feel great about predicting it. You're a great player, you know. Luck and variance. Don't get too hung up on luck. If you are getting mad at the shuffler every game, it's time to change your attitude and your deck.
Shuffler's fine. Shuffler is 100% fine. Oh my god.
I was a bit guilty of this myself actually. When playing Kinnan, I got so tilted when I looked at the top 5 and whiffed. So I did the math and realized I only had 75% chance to flip into a haymaker. This realization changed not only how I feel about the whiffs, but also how I play the game, for the better. For example, if I need a guaranteed blocker, I would rather play out a mana dork from my hand rather than rely on activating Kinnan and losing 1/4 of my games. This is true for virtually all decks, with lands. Let's look at this scenario. Your opening hand on play has 2 land drops and you must not miss your third. Well, you only have 66% chance to draw that land in your 2 opportunities. That's literally 1 in 3 games where you just wave. It's a decent chance, and you can hope for the land, but don't get devastated when you inevitably miss it, and be ready with a backup plan. Now there are times when your opponents will seemingly get lucky. Maybe they play an Oracle of the Alpha, they dilute their deck to 98 cards, and then proceed to top deck a game-winning Time Walk right after. In situations like this, realize that your opponent likely had many different outs, and even though it may seem unfair, you have incomplete information, and your opponent just happened to find one of the responses they needed. The game is not biased, and chance and variance is inherent to the game. Take a break. Arena is very good at tricking your brain into playing just one more game. You get progressively more frustrated as you lose matchup after matchup, and then you get tilted and yet you hit the play button over and over again. Now does that sound familiar? Take a break from the game and you are no longer having fun. I regularly skip whole seasons on Arena just to get out of the rut, and to get more enjoyment out of the game when I come back to it. What could WotC do? Maybe they could disincentivize people from conceding just to goldfish their perfect hand. They could address roping. I get it, life happens, but detecting habitual ropers from the data is trivial. There should be in-game consequences for the behavior. And I would welcome an opportunity to finish my turn, even if opponent concedes. Setting up a board only for my opponent to concede and not give me the satisfaction of using it is frustrating. By all means, opponents should be able to concede and we should be able to leave the game at any time. But the client could allow us to continue to play the game. So to summarize, the key to enjoying Brawl is to balance fun and competition. Adjust your mindset. Winning is not the best strategy, play around your opponent's moves and don't get discouraged by chance. And finally, take breaks as needed and stay aware of your gaming habits.